Why is it important to train and exercise crisis management? We do this kind of activities to learn and develop, to increase our ability to meet difficult and severe situations. But it's very important that we understand the reason why and actually the objective, the result we want to bring from this kind of activity. There's different perspectives on why we do exercises. Either we have an exploring perspective, wanting to identify a good way of working within our team to meet a specific situation, the scenario we choose to exercise. Or we have a new plan and new members in our crisis management team, while the exercise then have the objective to actually implement this new way of working. We have a learning perspective on the execution. If our ability is higher and we have a well-defined organization and way of working, we can do verifying exercises, aiming to really prove that we have the ability we have specified. No matter the overall perspective of the exercise activity, we need to have the purpose and objective very clear. We need to understand, both during the planning phase as well as during the execution, why do we do this? What is the values and the results we want to bring out of this activity? So to set and clearly communicate the objective of the exercise activity is very important. We also need to narrow the scope of the execution, focusing on the exact result we want to achieve. So if we have an exploring perspective, wanting to identify the ability to detect and identify a crisis situation, we should focus around exactly that. Different scenarios being presented to the group, verifying the criteria for a crisis situation. Or we want to have a learning perspective on the roles and responsibilities within an organization. Then we should focus on a scenario and an execution scheme, really aiming to evaluate the clarity within and between the different members of the team. Lastly, we need to have a clear understanding of who actually owns the results of the exercise and what are they going to be used for. So when we plan the exercise and when we execute the exercise, we need to understand how it should be documented and how we should also present the findings in the best way to support this new way of working coming afterwards. If the objective of the exercise is to clarify roles and responsibility, we train the team with this scenario objective, then we also need to have an evaluation report specifying the strengths and the areas of development in exactly that. How have the different team members applied their role and understood their responsibility and been able to work together? If we apply these three very important initial thoughts into the planning, making sure the purpose and objective is clear, having a narrow scope, really focusing on the results we want to achieve, and understanding of how and whom to actually own the results afterwards, we have a good chance of making sure that the time and effort put into the exercise bring real value to our organization.